not, if your family member doesn't, you would have a neighbor who is. If your neighbor is not, you have a colleague. If not, you would have a church member who has it. I need us to understand that it is becoming this prevalent. As at the last time I had the statistics, they said 1 out of 166 children would definitely be autistic. Guess what? It is so dropped to 4. It's gone up to 4. Now, out of these, it looks like it's crazy numbers. Okay, it looks like 4 kids too many in 66 kids. Think about it. Everybody do statistics, so we do raffle draws. It is quite too many and quite easy for you to pick a ticket that has autism tagged on it. So that's how easy it is for us now. You think about it, the number of births that we have in a day, and the number of autistic children that will come into the world. Now, these are not things to scare you. This is education that you need to know. Now, 60% of those who come to the world as autistic kids never get out of autism. Only 40% minority get out of it. And some just outgrow it, but along the way, in that 40%, they still manifest traits of it. They just get better along the way. Now, this is to let you know and see how important it is for us to come together as a community to talk about this. Okay? Again, if you cannot be civil with your contributions, you might as well avoid this platform. Because, like I said, I've been in the media long enough and avoided a lot of confrontations. But you see this one? I am very much willing to go all out to kick this autism to the curb. And if that includes kicking you as well, so be it. This is me saying I will not tolerate derogatory comments. I don't care where you are. I do not. If I get to the level where I see the nonsense you people do in the streets, there, to use my child as content, any other child or mother or parent that comes on this live to talk and express themselves and you want to use it in a derogatory manner, then you would realize there's been 2 delis in this street. It is not a threat. It is a promise I intend to keep. I don't care where you are. I don't care even if you're using a fake profile. Because one of the things most of you do is we know where you are. We just don't give a damn about you. We know your locations. We can fish you out the next second if we want to. If you know what is good for you, avoid this conversation if you will not be polite and civil. And I mean it. So when you are doing your blogging and you're doing your influencing, know where to draw the line as far as this is concerned. And I've always said, go ahead, insult me till you have a swell time. But when you cross, not just on Jesus boy, my son, on another child that I get to know, don't worry. Wait till we go meet you. Let me leave it at that. Because I think it's about time we teach a lot of people, we teach people lessons, especially on topics like this. Yes. Why do I say this? Not just necessarily for my son, Jesus boy, that you will get to read and read extensively our journey. I have opened a portal where a lot of people are free to come in, to share, to be vulnerable, to put their weaknesses. They come there, they cry. And if a blogger or an influencer dares to use that as content, I am telling you, you would understand. My name is Delphine, not Delhi. I mean what I'm saying. I will not belabor that, so let's just leave it at that. You do not have a profile that cannot be fished out. even if you're using a fake profile, just so we know. It's just that some of the things you do are below standard for us to even meddle with it. So we let you sleep. Again, my name is Ndive, as far as this topic is concerned, not Delhi. So let us know that if I say this and I speak the minds of every parent that comes to share their experiences on this platform, because the shit and the gutter in our community is getting out of hand. Okay, let's cut to the chase now. Let's talk now. Okay, boss lady, I see you. Thank you. Every one of you, nice pen. All of you, thank you so much. I see you. Let's talk about grief of autism. Okay, I did talk. The first thing as I talked about it is when you are grieving, sometimes you do not even understand. Our massive feed, darling. Thank you. Every other person, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for everything. Please, okay. Yes, V baby, trust me. Don't worry. I am so... Don't worry. Don't worry. People will make statements prior to me announcing this officially. But now that they know, they know. Okay? So don't worry. And this is me saying this to each and every one of you. If you go somewhere and you find somebody making a derogatory post about a special child, whether on autism, there's dyslexia, there is guys, name it in the comment section. All of this on ADHD, there is Down syndrome. If you hear them in words, action, speech, post, just get a screenshot of it. Don't bother. Don't dramatize it. Just send it to me. There are things we play about. There are things we meddle in. We will teach one person as a community. It's not just Delhi. Don't worry yourself. The army of special parents we're building, it is not one to mess with, because a lot of people are scared to bring their kids even out there to just socialize because of ignorant folks like you who are intentional at destroying other people's mental health. We'll not let you do that. No, we will not. The number of parents who are frustrated by side talks, comments, social media, bloggers, influencers who have very large and dirty mouths, who can sit and spew gibberish in the media because of content and monetization. Just get a screenshot of it, send to me, and leave it at that. Whether it's a fake profile or not, don't worry. Okay. Let's talk about grief. I think I've belaboured that. Let's talk about grief, okay? Hello, Adeline, Ian. Okay. The stigmatization is way too much. And the sad part of it is that it's coming from adults. Ignorant folks. But ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? And this pertains to this topic I'm talking about. So don't worry. So let's talk about grief. I was grieving. When my son was diagnosed, I was grieving. Lord, I grieved. I grieved so bad, it took me 7 years to get over it. That's why I say if it takes you 14 years, I understand. And if it takes less, I do understand, because it is real. I grieved. I have a very beautiful baby boy. If you see him, you would see him. Hopefully on my birthday, okay? Because that's when I intend to put him out there. Still, because it's more of the sensitization. And just so you know that I have been intentional at keeping my family off the media for a lot of reasons, and one of which is this, because I'd not gotten to the level where I could handle the nonsense in the media. Not even bringing my family in the media, I still had to deal with gossips in the media. People who come around you and take your information to platforms and they talk nonsense. That's how much I had to deal with it. Then you think about the fact that I had to bring him in the media and all not, and then with the ignorance, the gross ignorance that people had. Now, Delhi is this strong woman, and I hate to say this. Then think about the many of you out there who can barely even speak, cannot even talk to people. Think about it. So again, this is me coming out to help other people come out. And make us see these children as children who are very okay but different, because they are different. And if you are not schooled enough, you will not see it like that. You will keep using those derogatory adjectives on them, which is so unfair. Yeah, I'm grieved so bad. So bad, guys. I don't need to tell you to power tab, right? You have to power tab, and hey, do not leave without following my platform, okay? Just so you can get notifications. Yeah. Hopefully that you listen to me and it can help you to come out of that mess you are in. I was at a level of denial. So denial stage is usually, my son is not autistic. My son doesn't have Down syndrome. My son doesn't have this. My daughter is not like that. Yeah, it's predominant with the male children, if you've noticed. But then the female ones have it as well. My son he's not, and I would get so frustrated when you even mention that. Oh, how about him? And there've been lots of nice people. Let's not only talk about the negative ones, okay? People who really understand, maybe social workers, those who have worked in the medical field, and they understand the situation. But guess what? They, you know, no, baby doll. He said, I know of someone who says her son is a burden. I believe she is still in the denial phase. No, when they have come to that level, it is the anger. That person is at the anger stage. Angry, bitterness, whatever it is, that's the stage. Because for somebody to describe their child as a burden, it means that they have already understood that something is going on, but then they cannot handle it, so they get angry. That's it. At worst at that stage, where I'd left you not there to mention that I should go for therapy or to go back to see the doctors or the GP, or I'd gotten that to that level. And when you get to that level and nothing is forthcoming, because, like I said, that's the difference between you putting your faith and living in denial. And I got into that level and I've gone past it. I got into anger. I was bitter. I was angry. I was frustrated. And when I spoke to this therapist, and it was like, what do you think? How can you describe it? I'm like, I feel like I've lost a child. Just like somebody is saying they feel like they have a child that is a burden. And she said these words that have not left my heart. You would have to, if you have lost a child, you would have to bury the child you've lost and welcome the one that you have. And the child that I was talking about losing is the illusion I had in my mind. It is elusive. Why? Because that is not the reality. The illusion is my child can speak like the regular kids out there. But that is illusion. It is elusive because the truth is that your child cannot speak like that. So when we are embracing it, we're embracing every angle of the spectrum. We're not saying that, no, we are only going to point at, okay, these are the things we see as weaknesses and we're not going to talk about them. No, it is all part of the journey. And if you do not handle it holistically, you would end up living in denial or being angry.